Morning, folks. I'm Chad with CD Shaving. Welcome to a different kind of video. So today we're profiling a certain shaving brush, a special shaving brush. We'll get into that in just a minute. First of all, let's get into the holiday of the day. Today's holiday of the day is National Peppermint Patty Day. I really like peppermint patties. Actually, I really like a coffee creamer that I get that has peppermint patty flavoring in it. It's awesome. It makes your coffee taste really, really good. So if you ever see that in the store, highly suggest it. Not a clue who makes it. I just know I see the packaging and I grab it, and there it is. So that is the holiday of the day. Moving on to, not the shave, the profiling. We're not doing a full shave today. We're going to profile a piece of product here. Now, let's talk a little bit about artisans. Being an artisan is difficult, to say the least. You have to place orders, make sure you have enough supplies to fulfill those orders. You actually have to take orders from the customers, and you have to send out the orders. You have to deal with incorrect orders, mistakes that be made, because let's face it, we're all human. You got to deal with customer complaints, constantly updating your product, watching market trends in one form or another, all the while still convincing yourself you love what you do. It's not easy. One of the artisans that does that, though, and stands out, in my mind, is Eric Johnson from EB Latheworks. I've had a couple of brushes done by him, and he does fantastic work. He's always willing to listen to what you have, to what you want from a customer point of view, and he's always willing to entertain ideas, and then still apply his own artistic creativity to whatever it is he's making for you. And that, as a customer, goes a long ways. But it's not just with me. It goes a long ways with a lot of people. To include Jeremy York. Jeremy York is a family man. He's a military man, and he's a friend of mine. And he's had some work done by Eric in the past. Well, recently, Jeremy recruited Eric to do a project for him for a brush. And here's a little bit more on that. Family. It has different meanings to different people. To Jeremy York, family means everything. To honor this notion, Jeremy combined his wet shaving passion with the love for his family into a custom shave brush that can be passed on for generations to come. Eric Johnson of EB Latheworks was brought on board by Jeremy for this very special project. Jeremy felt that his detail-oriented craftsmanship combined with his copious creativity made Eric the best person for the job. It was decided that applying birthstone colors to the brush handle would be a good way to honor Jeremy's family. The colors included sapphire for Jeremy, emerald for his wife Jessica, and for his two children, turquoise for Brian and aquamarine for Gabriel. The handle was born as a resin mold, followed by a trip to the lathe, and was painstakingly turned by Mr. Johnson himself, of course. No shave brush is complete without a knot. For this, Jeremy consulted with Scott Stewart over at Declaration Grooming. Scott agreed to knot the handle and did so with one of his B7 Badger knots personally hand-tied by Scott himself, making this brush a colossal combination of creativity, artistic skill, and the unending love for a man's family. Okay, we are back. We have our supplies here. We've got a shaving bowl. A little bit of soap in that shaving bowl that actually has been soaking. I got my towel. And I've got some distilled water. Nothing special, just distilled water. Why do we have that if we're not doing a shave? Well, because we're going to do the brush. Not doing a shave, but we're going to work the brush. See, Jeremy sent me this brush, and he said, you know what? I think Eric deserves a good profiling on this, and this brush is nice. It came out really, really well, and I'd like to see a profiling on this. And I said, sure, let's do it. I agree. The brush came out nice. It looks great in the sun. Not that you shave in the sun, but it really speaks to Eric's creativity. Now, the brush has, as you saw in the commentary, has several colors in it. all have a great significance. And now let's take a look at this brush. We've had it soaking in our occupation policeman mug here. We've had it soaking about 10 minutes. Bring that out. And there it is. That is the brush in its glory. Right there. Yep, and we got our soap, like I said. Our soap is all soaked, ready to go. We're going to take the leftover water here and pour it in here. This is actually a tester's soap from an artisan who shall remain unnamed. Okay, so we've got the boar here. The badger brush here. Still has a little bit of animal scent into it, but that's normal with badger brushes. You do, again, unlike synthetics, which I'm big on, you need to soak these ahead of time, about 10 minutes. They really absorb all the water into the hairs, and it makes it easier for the brush to make a lather because it slowly releases the water into the lather. At least that's what I understand. So here it is. It's soaked. Our soap is soaked as well. The hairs on it I find are pretty densely packed, and I can definitely feel the water inside of it without, I only wring it out a little bit. That's what you want to do here. So we're going to take our CD shaving bowl. There's a little bit of water left in here, so we're going to go ahead and make the lather. Now, I know I said the artisan shall remain unnamed, and they will, but I will say the scent on this is similar to the Kraken from Mickey Lee Soapworks. Love that scent. Oops. So as you can see, we're already starting to bring some of that. This brush is this brush works well. It's got a lot of density, but it's not, and it has a lot of backbone without being too much. I'm just gonna take a little bit of water here. Add it to it. There we go. All right. Now we've used most of our sample. We're just going to bring the soap back to the center of the bowl. This took all of what? Not even a minute to do, really. And if I hadn't been talking and kind of went right to it, I'd be all set with, as you can see, this brush had no problem whipping up the lather. The knot is fantastic. Speaking of the knot, well, this is actually very, very soft. It's very soft. This is not one of the knots that we did there. That's provided by Eric. This is a Declaration Grooming knot. Which was set perfectly as far as I'm concerned. This is a great brush. So as you can see, the lather is, not that it's about the lather, but we get plenty of cushion and density here, and we made quite a mess. So this Declaration Grooming's knots, I've used them a couple of times. I don't personally own any, but like I said, I have used them. And the knots that they use in their brushes are pretty fantastic. I'm pretty impressed with that. Eric likes to use a couple of different ones, but he has the Boss knot from, as far as the synthetic is concerned, which is a great synthetic knot as well, especially the second generation knot of the Boss, which I recently profiled as a fantastic knot as well. But this, if you like Badger and you're into Badger, this is a great Badger hair knot. It really is. It works well. It's very, very soft. it took nothing to make this soap. And I had a very small amount of soap in there. It was probably the size of a dime, and it was kind of see-through, so there really wasn't much at all. So I know that also speaks to the soap, but it also speaks to the brush. The handle I found was very, very ergonomic. I mean, I get the bottom here. I tend to make a mess when I make soap lathers. You make a ton of soap, and as you can see, it's really done up well. I can hold right onto this, do what I need to do here, and I can lather it onto the handle without any problem. I'm very, very impressed. So, as far as the soap is concerned, wow, yeah. I mean, it held plenty of soap, and it does have a significant amount of backbone, but it's still very, very soft to the touch. It doesn't have a ton of backbone. Let's see if I can show that to you here. I mean, it's not, you know, and then the splay is pretty decent sized here, as you can see. I mean, it covers most of my hand. The knot, it's got a good amount of backbone, and it looks like it's set kind of low, lower than I've seen, but it still provides a lot of splay, given that, as you can see. So yeah, good knot, and the handle on it I think is fantastic. And Jeremy, I love these colors, these color combinations. I know they have a significance to you and your family. However, having said that, and I'll clean this brush up a little bit more off camera, but having said that, this is a really nice color combination. I like the aqua in it. I like the different the speckles. Hard to see on camera, but you could see it in the commentary in the sun. Again, it's another fantastic job by Eric Johnson over at EB Latheworks, and the knot definitely speaks tons from Declaration Grooming. So guys, fantastic job on this brush. Jeremy, I'm very impressed. I really like it a lot. I thought you did a great job with Eric, and the two of you came up with a great creative brush. And I really I'm honored that you asked me to do a video to profile it for you. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, ship it back to you, so you and your family, or you and your wife, can enjoy this. And great job. So fantastic. Thank you guys very much for joining me. That is the video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about this video, please put it in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Make sure you knock that bell. That way you get a new notification every time we do a new video here at CD Shaven. Folks, I am Chad. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you guys and girls in the next video.